Hi guys, it's Maigan Lynn here from MaiganLynnArt.com, and today what I've decided to do is do a little bit of a three-part tutorial. I get a lot of questions asked about how my process goes in particular, so I thought instead of having to type everything out, I would just show you instead. It just makes it a lot easier. When I first started doing this, I was just looking to try something new. I needed something that allowed me just to kind of free flow work with colors, and I came across pouring after dabbling a little bit with the PBO liquid oil paints, which were also wonderful. They also had lots of different reactions, and the only thing with them is they're very expensive. So I thought trying something like the pourings would just help me with the use of color, just more free-formed. I'm an illustrative artist by trade, so I needed something to kind of just let me play a little bit. So I wanted to try this, but I wanted to try something also like find a way to do it that wasn't as expensive. So I looked for inexpensive methods, and there was all kinds of stuff out there, as most of you know. Sorting through the videos is kind of a gong show at times. There's lots of information. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'll do a three-part series. The first part will be how I mix my glue all or ModgePodge pouring medium. The second part will be how I mix my paints and the types of paints I use, and just, you know, my different methods. And then the third part, I'll show you how to do a galaxy pour in my style with the materials that I generally use. So we're just going to get started here. I've tried other pouring mediums. I've tried most recently the Sargent's Acrylic Gloss pouring medium, and it was like, I'm pretty sure for most people it's fine. It just, compared to what I'm used to, the reactions that I'm used to with the glue all pouring medium, it wasn't for me. I like lots and lots of cells. I like really busy paintings, and I found with the Sargents I just wasn't able to obtain that. I found my glue mixes were, or my paint mixes were a little bit off from what I'm used to, and that's a learning curve. Like with any new pouring medium that you're going to try, you're gonna come across a little bit of a learning curve, and have to make adjustments for each one. So I will say that the glue all and the ModgePodge, which are interchangeable, these are the two that I use. These are my favorite. This mix that I do is my favorite. It binds the best with the paints, I find. When I mix them with the paints, of course, I always have to adjust with a little bit of water just to get the consistency properly. But these two are my favorite. So I'm going to start with the ModgePodge because there's only a little bit left in this container, and I actually I emptied this container into a glass jar just so it was bare so you could see. So I'll just do whatever I have in here, and then I'll mix the rest of that back in later. And this gets a little bit tacky because it's glue. Okay. Stuck right to the edge here. Okay, so you can see the glue in there. So what we're gonna do is we're probably gonna fill it, if we can, to about this line, or whatever I can get out of this. I'll fill it to about here, because what the mix is 2/3 of either the glue all or the ModgePodge with 1/3 water. And it does have to be the glue all or ModgePodge. I haven't found another glue yet that works quite as well. If you just use regular white school glue, I've had a lot of people say that it cracks when drying. It doesn't bind properly. So definitely go with the glue all or the ModgePodge just to be safe. So we're gonna mix the 2/3 of the ModgePodge in here. It's a little thick at first. And that's okay because we're going to water it right down. Okay, and I don't generally like to waste, which is kind of funny because a lot of people think that's what poured painting is a lot of waste. It's not. If you do it, if you try and find methods that don't waste as much, It's possible. I know a lot of people just think you're just sloshing a lot of paint around on a canvas, and that's not necessarily the case. I know a lot of artists who also use their drippings from their poured painting to also make jewelry. I haven't done that yet. I've done jewelry in the past with other methods. I haven't done it yet with the poured painting, but I'd like to try. So I am gonna get every last drop that I can out of here. And I'm probably gonna get full of glue in the process, if that's okay. No one ever said poured painting in any aspect was a clean process. Okay, that's pretty much it. Also, these stir sticks, if you're ever wondering, I get them at Walmart. What is it, a box of something like 500, and it's so inexpensive. These last forever. You can reuse your stir sticks when you're using them in your paints. All you have to do is rinse them pretty much immediately, let them dry. I've seen people actually cover their stir sticks in their pour as well and get really cool outcomes with that. But I use these for everything. They're amazing for mixing or just grabbing paint or excess glue or whatever it is that you need them for. They're my favorite. Okay, so you can see we have that much of the Mod Podge in there. So say this is 2/3, we're probably gonna fill it to about here as an extra third with water. So I always have, and I carry this because I also use a torch and I'm a little bit paranoid, so I carry this little I have a cat hair on there, but I carry this little bottle of water beside me at all times while I'm working, just in case. Not that I've ever had an issue, but you never know. Okay, so yeah, about like that. I don't know if you can see it without me tilting, but here's the glue line, and here's the water line. So what I do is I cap it off, and I got these mixing bottles at Walmart as well. I think I'm pretty sure I'd seen my dad use something like this for mixing gravy for holidays for the turkey a time or two. So these are actually perfect. I just put my finger on the cap. They don't seal, but they don't have to. You can get something, if you prefer working with a jar or some other kind of bottle, that's fine. I prefer these. I just find they're easy access, and they work really well for what I need them. I've never had an issue with them. So, and then you just shake it thoroughly. Okay, so that is your glue pouring medium, and it is pretty runny with the water added into it. So I'll show you. I'll pour some into here so you can see. So there's no, like, there's not a lot of thickness to it. It is in texture, I find it fluffier, if that makes sense. When you mix it with the paints, it tends to add some body. And I don't know if it's just because I always shake before I even use it. So there's naturally air bubbles in it, which will also cause air bubbles in your paint. So if you don't want that, maybe, I know a lot of people either set their mixes aside, whether it be just a pouring medium mix or the paint mix with the pouring medium in it, just so they can, they leave it for 24 hours sometimes, just so they can make sure that there's no air bubbles in the paint. I like the air bubbles. I find the air bubbles add a lot of texture. I like the texture. I like the busy cells. I like all the different reactions and possibilities from different avenues, whether it's the silicone or whether it's the air bubbles in the paints, or adding heat, or even just playing around with your stir stick throughout your painting. I like all of the different things. I think it ends up adding a lot of interest and makes for a really cool painting. So yeah, so that is your how to mix your glue all pouring medium. If you have any other questions, if I didn't cover anything, I missed something, don't hesitate to leave a comment for me in the comment section below. I will get back to all of them. Usually anybody who leaves a comment, I am dead set on making sure that I reply, because I think that's actually very important to interact with everybody. And I treat everybody as people instead of just, you know, these hidden entities behind a computer screen. So I will get back to you. So again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'm going to do the second part of this tutorial in my next video, which is the how I mix my paint mixes with my glue wall pouring medium. So please stay tuned for that, and I hope you check back. Thanks for watching.